It is Friday after all, Friday the 13th, by the way, and we have a big weekend ahead. We know all the lovers will want to go out and celebrate Valentine's Day this weekend.
And we've got great weather for it. Sometimes we have snowstorms or rainstorms or thunderstorms. We have great weather as we head into the weekend, and it starts today.
Starts today. We have a really, we'll be in the 50s Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 10 to 15 degrees above average.
I like the sound of that.
Sounds great. The only small catch, little asterisk. There's always an asterisk in Indiana,
Why?
though.
Why don't you just erase it or
delete? We need to figure that out. There could be some rain Saturday evening, but most of it is Saturday night as we're sleeping.
Okay.
So if you have an earlier date night, you're going to be fine. No
like
worries
your
at all.
3:30 reservation tonight.
Get out of me out. I'm 3:30. Oh my gosh, that was the last reservation. But I tell you what, 3:30 doing a morning schedule sounds fantastic. My wife's on board too. We're gonna go this evening because it's just so nice out there. You could go to dinner this evening, especially it's a little bit earlier in the evening. If the restaurant has their doors open, it may feel great because we're headed to the low and mid 50s this afternoon. You remember Tuesday? How could you forget? We're expecting a day very similar to that, maybe 2 degrees cooler, but enjoy a wonderful Friday forecast. Right now we're mainly clear. Notice how the steam just pretty much goes straight up. The reason why, there's really not a lot of wind out there this morning. So at least that 25 just basically feels like 25. There's not too much of a wind chill. So the 24 in Lafayette and Kokomo just feels like 24 this morning. It's 23 from Jay County to Muncie to Anderson. Good morning in Hartford City, 23. It's 22 for Tipton and Marion this morning. More 20s around Indianapolis from Carmel and Fishers out towards Avon and Brownsburg. You guys are sitting at 23 this morning, 25 in Greenwood, and more 20s farther to the south from the campus of IU. Southeastbound to Seymour, the home of the Owls. There's still some snow back, but we're about to melt a lot more of it again today. I think by lunchtime and recess. Whoever is on recess duty today, Julia, is going to have a great one as temperatures get to the upper 40s. But real quick, Julia, before I get to you, I want to touch on traffic. I do have a new crash on I-465 on the southwest side of the city. This just now coming in over by Kentucky Avenue. So westbound direction as you're headed out towards I-70. Here's the vehicle crash. There might be a couple different vehicles involved. It looks like still the middle lanes are kind of open. Even some folks out here on the side are trying to get over a little bit. This is causing a backup. You can see it stretching way out towards the east now. So if you are on the south side of the city, you may run into this slowdown. Julia?
Kind of early for that. Thanks, Matt. Well, a former town official in Atlanta, Indiana, is now the second person facing charges in a cold case murder dating back more than 3 decades.
Andy Emmert is in the Hamilton County Jail this morning, charged with murder. Marina Silva is here in studio. Catch us up on what we know about this now decades later of this case. Marina, good morning.
Well, good morning. It's a case that haunted a family for 33 years. Tony Bledsoe disappeared in 1992. And now, with a second arrest just made, prosecutors say justice may finally be within reach. Now, I want to take you back to when this happened. March 16, 1992, 24-year-old Tony Bledsoe went missing. And a month later, human remains were discovered in a ravine in Putnam County. Now, it wasn't until 2018 that DNA technology revealed it was Bledsoe. Fast forward to May 2025, an anonymous tip led to the arrest of another man, Thomas Anderson. Now, Anderson admitted to investigators that he was there, but another man, Andy Emmert, shot Bledsoe in the head at a duplex in Noblesville. He then allegedly stabbed him multiple times in a dispute over stolen car parts. Now, Anderson admitted to helping cut up and dump the body. Anderson pled guilty Wednesday and will testify against Emmert as part of the plea agreement, clearing the way to arrest Emmert. Now, Sergeant John Perrine with the Indiana State Police credits Lieutenant Josh Watson for getting the case to this point.
That tip came to the right guy because he happened to have knowledge of a recovery of remains in Putnam County. That was a completely separate case. But because of his independent knowledge of that case, he started to think that things matched up.
Tony Bledsoe's son provided a statement to 13 News. I'm at a loss for words. I'm happy but sad all at the same time. Nobody will ever understand what this feeling is like. Once again, thank you to all the men and women who put their own lives at risk this morning to catch the man that killed my father. He sent that to us yesterday. Now, Emmert will make his first court appearance this afternoon in Hamilton County at 1 o'clock. We will be in the courtroom.
It's really encouraging, I think, to families who have such old cases that 33 years later, you know, they're still trying to solve it.
Yes, and your heart breaks for these families that are waiting decades. Their children are growing up.
Thanks.
Well, here's another case to update you on. Actually, just a few hours now, the man who pled guilty in the 1993 murder of Carmen Van Huss will be sentenced.
So Dana Shepard now faces up to 45 years in prison. Shepard was arrested in 2024 in Boone County, Missouri, where he was reportedly working as a custodian at the University of Missouri.
In March 1993, Van Huss was found after she was raped and murdered in her Indianapolis apartment. Her father found her there after he got a call that she didn't show up for work. 13 News will have a camera in the courtroom this morning to have the latest to share later this afternoon on 13 News at 11. Well, hundreds of people gathered in Fisher's paying their respects to Haley Busby and her family. So many showed up to her celebration of life wearing pink, her favorite color, and left with a better understanding of who she was as a person. Her family says she had a passion for journalism and described her as a leader who always navigated tough times with grace and strength.
This service comes after investigators found her body in the Wayne National Forest, that's in Perry County, Ohio, a month after she went missing. Well, now her family wants to make sure her memory stays alive.
The world is a sadder place without you, Haley, but it is not broken. You're still in our life. Your family will carry your legacy, your love in our hearts, your memories in our minds.
Right now, the Busby family is pushing to create Haley's Law. They want to improve the process of finding missing children and when alerts go out. 39-year-old Tyler Thomas, the man suspected in this case, is facing federal charges and state charges out of Ohio connected to Haley's disappearance.
Yeah, he is not charged with killing Haley. But tonight, we're going to take an in-depth look at this bizarre case in our special, The Disappearance of Haley Busby.
This examines the court case, the push for changes at the State House to protect kids, and you can watch that on our streaming app, WTHR Plus, tonight at 8.
Well, after months of anger, violence, and frustration from ICE in Minnesota, we now know Immigration and Customs Enforcement is opening an office in Carmel, Indiana.
City leaders confirmed that ICE will be opening administrative offices in Hamilton County. The police chief there tells us they'll be in a building near 96 and College Avenue, but that's about all they can confirm. The why and the when still unclear this morning.
And Carmel's council president said he's a little frustrated by the lack of communication with it all. Matthew Snyder says he really needs more information.
The unfortunate reality is that it's created fear amongst many of our citizens. And whether that fear is based in reality or it's been kind of trumped up by just media coverage doesn't really matter to me, because fear is fear.
Now, Snyder does say the city has no control over whether ICE actually moves in or not.
Oh, he did reach out to the ICE agency when the spokesperson for the Department of Homeland Security responded and declined to comment on the office location, citing a rise in threats against its officers. But a statement said in part, is it really news when a federal agency hires more personnel that they need more space? It goes on to say, thanks to the Big Beautiful Bill, we have an additional 12,000 ICE officers and agents on the ground across the country, a 120% increase in our workforce. It's 6:08. A property owner in Speedway was fined $2,000 after raw sewage was found around the Legend at Speedway apartment complex. The Speedway town manager tells us that crews found that raw sewage near buildings and parking lots in the complex, and the property could face more fines if they don't get this fixed. The Marion County Public Health Department has a court hearing addressing this very issue next Tuesday. 13 News did reach out to the apartment complex for a response from management there. We'll let you know if we do hear back.
Well, this morning, plans for a data center to be built on Indy's east side is moving forward despite a lot of pushback from people who live in that area. A city administrator recommended the Metro Blocks data center move forward. Yesterday, 6 city county councilors issued a statement asking for the developers to pause the project or for the company to at least withdraw the proposal. Now, this is the proposed 13-acre site near 25th and Sherman. Well, for weeks, it felt like winter was going nowhere, so we had one of the biggest snowstorms in years.
And now that those piles of snow are finally starting to back off, Indianapolis leaders are sharing what went right in their response and what needs to be fixed before the next snow response. Under the city's new priority system, leaders say that more side roads were cleared. That was a really big problem the last big snow. And they say communication was better. DPW says crews worked 90,000 hours plus another 52,000 of overtime.
They do say there is still room for improvement. One change already in the works is upgrading the Snow Force viewer so plows can be tracked in real time.
You know, some folks may feel that the streets were missed, but there might have been reasons. For me in my district, Center Township, we have narrow streets. There was parking on both sides of the street.
Well, of course, paying for this is always an issue too, and that's something that could be addressed in the spring when the city looks at where it overspends and where it underspends.
All right, so snow is melting. What's that mean? Well, we know potholes, right? DPW is out there, though, already on pothole patrol. The department posted this video showing them at work filling those potholes across the city. Remember, you can report potholes that you see on your daily drive. Just go to the Mayor's Action Center. Hey, Matt.
Hey, good morning, Julia. I was out on my county road yesterday, and it got to a slowdown for a second. But then I was thinking, oh, man. But then I realized they were doing patchwork, and then I just I'll wait all day long for that. Hey, we're clear and cool this morning, but coming up this weekend, there will be some rain on the way. We're going to time out when the rain arrives and how much is heading your way.